The imparfait is a descriptive past tense. So we're going to use this in conjunction with the passé composé. Sometimes you'll use the passé composé for past tense, sometimes you'll use the imparfait for past tense. There's a whole lot of differences between these two, and honestly, determining which one to use when is one of the hardest things that you have to deal with in the French past tense. To make it a little bit easier to start off at the very least, the imparfait is used to indicate 4 different things. It can either be an ongoing state of being, so something where you were a certain way for a long time. So the most common example of this, especially that we'll see this unit, is something like when I was 8 years old. So you were 8 years old for a really long time. It's an ongoing state of being. A repeated or habitual action, something that you do frequently, especially if it follows some kind of pattern, like if you do something every single Saturday, for example. If it's an incomplete action, an action that did not get finished for some kind of reason, maybe it's still going, maybe it got interrupted by something else, maybe you just plain didn't finish it, or background information or like descriptive details. So if you're like setting the scene when you're telling a story or like you're describing someone, that's going to be imparfait. To conjugate the imparfait, we follow the same 2 steps as normal. Find your stem, add your endings. However, the imparfait stem is very, very different than the ones we've seen before. The imparfait stem comes from the present tense nu form, not the infinitive. So your steps to find your stem this time, instead of looking at the infinitive and getting rid of your last 2 letters, you're going to conjugate the verb in the present for nu and then drop the O and S. Whatever you have left is the imparfait stem. Depending on which verb it is you're looking at, so like regular ER verbs, it can be the same as the infinitive stem. So if we think about parler, we have parler, drop your ER to find parle. Present tense, nous parlons. Drop your ONS to find your imparfait stem is still parle. Sometimes this is just how it works out. In reflexive verbs, this is also true. So all of those reflexive ER verbs, it doesn't matter that it's reflexive. If we have se brosser, and then we drop our ER to find our stem brosse or se brosse, well, then our present tense is nous brossons. We drop our ONS, and our stem is still brosse. However, other verb categories such as irregulars and IR verbs will give you a different stem for the imparfait. So for example, an irregular like avoir has no regular tense stem. That's what makes it irregular. But if we conjugate it in the nu form in the présent, nous avons, we can still drop our ONS to come up with the stem AV. IR verbs, you have to include that ISS portion of the regular IR conjugation. So finir, we drop our IR to get fin. We get nous finissons because our regular IR verb ending for nous is ISSONS. We only get rid of the ONS part. So all of your regular IR verb imparfait stems will keep that ISS on the end, nous finissent. Every single verb, even irregular verbs, will form the imparfait stem this way. There's only one exception in the entire language, and that's the verb être. And that should be fairly obvious when you go through these steps. Être has no stem, but we can conjugate it in the présent for nous, nous sommes. We go to drop off our ONS, and there isn't one. That's because être is the only verb in the entire French language where the present tense nous form does not end in ONS. Every single other verb, even the irregulars, all of them have ONS. So previously we saw nous avons, we have nous allons, we have nous faisons. Every single one of them has ONS except for nous sommes. Therefore, être uses the imparfait stem a, accent aigu t. This is just like an irregular where you just have to memorize that one. The easy part is that's the only one you have to know. The imparfait endings, that's easy peasy. They work just the same as normal. You just have to remember which endings they are. We have AIS, AIS, AIT, IONS, IEZ, AIENT. So for example, if I was going to conjugate faire in the imparfait, I find my stem, nous faisons, I drop my ONS to get FAIS for my stem, fait, and then I add my ending. Je faisais, tu faisais, il faisait, nous faisions, vous faisiez, il fais.